So one of the other big topics that came up during Mark's presentation was the idea or the concept of a big hero image and kind of the sliding banner. You've probably seen it on a lot of sites. And so I think their take was negative on it, or at least anti the scrolling banner. We have a few different thoughts on this that contradict that.
Yes. I actually got the whole team's opinion on this, so sorry, Mark. We got some professionals who disagree with you. Essentially, though, to start, we do have some tips that if you do decide to do this, you must do it this way for it to work. Images have to be optimized. So that includes making sure they're the right size, it's not pushing anything to the side, it's mobile optimized, they load quickly.
That's key.
Very key, yeah. Update the image alt text, so if someone decides to save it, it's not just like banner image 2. It's going to be like name the project, say where you are, maybe SEO relevant. We talked about, Mark had mentioned that it should be very slow and you should be able to pause it. And we do agree with that. That does make sense. And just to keep in mind load times especially, because I did a little bit of research and allegedly you have 1.5 seconds.
Wow.
We had said 4 seconds, I believe, at the workshop. 1.5 seconds for everything to load and for someone to decide if they're going to stay on your page.
Otherwise, they're gone.
They're gone. Yeah, they don't have time. Their time is 4 seconds is a lot. So, yeah, and we actually have a teammate who has been working with this, and he was curious himself. So he installed Hotjar, which is a software that we use to track what people are actually doing on the page. And he said people tend to sit and watch. And they'll watch the slider, he can tell, because there's no movement and it's just on the sliding images. And so a fun fact behind the scenes, that's actually really good for your SEO, because
Very good.
The longer people spend on that page, it's just boosts your page ranks.
Yeah, Google really has done a lot of study, and they find that if somebody's spending a long time on a website page, they must think that they're getting a lot of value out of it. And so they're not clicking and then bouncing and going, nope, that's no good, or they're moving on. And so, if you have really good imagery and people are looking at that, that's really good. Or if you have a lot of text actually that's super engaging and describes something in great detail, that can be really impactful for your SEO and your rankings. And so, yeah, I think that's a big win for the sliding hero image, is especially if the imagery is really solid. They're not having to wait for it to load. They're just watching and enjoying the imagery.
Right. So you brought up another great point. It has to be professional photography. No iPhone pictures and no stock imagery. These are professional pictures of some of your best projects. And also, we had talked about with Mark, if showing too many images shows like you don't know what the client wants and it's just kind of overwhelming. So again, we discussed with the team that as a remodeler, you do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you remodel bathrooms, you remodel kitchens.
Additions.
Yeah, home
basements.
exteriors. So we agree that you should have an image of each one, your best image, and you should have a relevant CTA on each one.
What's the CTA?
Relevant call to action to maybe download an ebook about bathroom remodeling or the cost of a kitchen remodel in your area, etc.
Yeah.
There are many options.
Yeah, and I think, when somebody comes to your site, they know that you do lots of different things. And so we were talking about it earlier today, and if somebody's looking for a kitchen remodeling project and that's what their goal is, but they see bathrooms on your site, that's okay. They probably figure that you do other things too. And so as long as they can get to that information or they see that information quickly, I think you described it as they'll see themselves in that project, and that's really what you want. So we feel like it doesn't eliminate anything for you or hinder you in that process by, you want to showcase what you do, and that person, as long as they can navigate to what they want, then that's a good thing.
Right, exactly. And when someone sees themselves in what you're showing, that's the best way to tell a story. And storytelling can be done in more ways than just the copywriting. It can be done in visual stories too. So these kinds of images will tell a story.
Yeah, so we give the nod to the homepage, carousel, slider, whatever you want to call it.
Under these conditions only.
Exactly.